the other room right here, Dan?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm Dan. I'm the Director of Engineering for PowerTech Sanford.
Okay.
What we're doing today, I don't know if Mark prepped you guys up. By the way, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to come on over here. What we're doing today is a really early demo. And it's not even a demo. We're doing user interaction testing.
Okay.
And so what that means is you're seeing pre-alpha level stuff. It's not ready for prime time. It's not something you're gonna go out and use. It's stuff that we're showing you guys to say, are we on the right track?
Sure.
What needs to be changed? What do we need to add? What doesn't work? What does work? What are you seeing in other softwares that we need to do? Those are the questions we're going to be asking today. Right. And I think there's some more chairs over there. If you go with Mark, you might be able to grab some chairs for you guys. So what we're going to do is I'm going to ask you to try some things, walk through. You're not going to tune a truck today. We're going to use software. And I'm going to ask you, why are you clicking there? How do you think this should work? That kind of stuff. Yep. The only other thing, so the questions I have for you guys, a couple things. One, just a note about confidentiality. Obviously, we have you guys here because we trust you. We like doing business with you guys. We want your feedback. It's critical for us. We would really appreciate it if you can agree to not share this with HP Tuners, EFI Live, Bully Dog, Derived Systems, EasyLink, all of the above.
Understandable.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, because really, this is not something that's shareable yet. And so you guys are basically, we're confiding in you guys to help us figure out where we're going. So a couple questions. What is the tuning software? I think I know the answer, but why don't you tell us? What's the tuning software of choice for you guys right now?
Primarily use EFI Live.
Okay.
We also use Smarties UDC software as necessary.
A little bit of HP.
A little bit of HP and also WinOS.
Who? WinOS?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So what we're not going to be doing diesel tuning here because it's not what we're just testing interface. So it's going to be Dodge files that I ask you to open up or gas files. But the features are the same. There's tables, there's 3D maps, there's data logs, there's all those things, right?
Yep.
So what we'll start with, if you can, is if you could just open up a Dodge a PCM file and a TCM file. And by the way, here's some hotkeys. So some of the items that we have here don't have toolbar buttons yet, so they'll be hotkeys only.
Okay.
Let's do just pick a DRG file, maybe the Scat Pack tune.
Okay.
And then we want to add a TCM file to that.
And is that just another calibration?
Yeah, you should be able to do it from the same file though. So hit load cal. You were in the right place. You were on the right track with what you were doing before. You were up here.
Gotcha. Help me out on which ones.
Look for TCM.
Ah, yeah.
So what typically when you open files, what is your expectation for how you would open a file?
I would like to go to open an icon, manila folder icon. I want it to go to the last folder I was in.
Okay.
Yeah.
But how about as far as comparison files, multiple ECU, ECM, TCM? What's the dialogue usually look like for you, if any?
If I open a TCM, it'd be nice to have it on the same screen. So select ECM, select TCM.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and then so do me a favor. So open that up, and then
Okay.
let's open a Watt Spark table. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you only changed parameters?
if I only changed. Did you say?
Oh yeah, view. I want you to set up the view so you're only looking at change parameters. One of the things that this software does that maybe you're not used to is it automatically selects the base file.
Okay.
The factory version of whatever
Okay,
strategy
so
you've opened, it automatically does that unless you choose another way for it to do it.
Okay.
So that's already there. So let's look at just what's changed from that.
I think I understand what you're saying, maybe.
Yeah, we just want to show the changed parameters only.
Show the changed parameters only.
Where might you think that would be? Something
And
like that.
Look for a button that would say compare and
I would like to see it in the colors of the.
yeah.
And it does. It does
Okay,
do
so
that.
these green ones are
Yeah.
changed.
Yep.
Okay.
There, but there's a view. There's a way to set up a view that you can see just what's changed, not the whole thing.
Okay.
If you go over to home.
Okay.
Show changed parameters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Then let's open up a Watt Spark table from in there. You can see those are all the greens there have been changed.
Have been edited. Okay.
Okay. Now let's add. Let's select the entire table, and add 3 major increments to it. And you can use the shortcuts for that because the toolbars don't work for that right now.
Control Shift.
What would you typically use for a shortcut for that?
I would like to select my spot there and then type in how much I want to add. I feel like there's no. It's unusual that I would have that I would commonly add an amount. You know what I mean? Like I feel like each tune has its own addition. So to have the addition be +1 or +5 or what, I mean, 5% I guess would be the most common addition that I'd like to work in, or some version of between 2 and 5%.
So in a lot of times in the gas world, what they'll do is there's a major and minor increment inside. The minor, there's the smallest available increment for the table.
Okay.
And so there's the major, which is a few of those, and the minor, which is the absolute minimum upward change or downward change. Okay. Based on the mathematics in the table. So that's kind of what we're looking at there. And so you're right though, the percentage stuff and multiply by and paste percentage and all that stuff that's going to be coming.
Okay.
Those are typical table functions that we'll add.
Very good.
Let's look at the 3D map of this. Scroll down.
There we go.
So what are your thoughts on this 3D map? How does that look? There's some table to 3D map controls on that shortcut document.
Okay. Scroll wheel.
Yeah, the scroll wheel, I can't find
it's
it
missing on this computer. Yeah.
We haven't found a laptop that has it yet.
That's all right. I like the colors. I like the control. The right click and rotate the mouse is intuitive. I like that.
I like the color under the values, how it's shaded under the values instead of being just open. Kind of nice.
What were you saying?
I was saying it's smooth.
Yeah, the whatever video whatever you're generating this with is working smoothly. I can move it in a small enough increment to, like, you know what I mean, get a view. I would like to be able to select the cells from here.
You can. We have a bug right now where you should be able to highlight them, but it's it's not. If you grab some cells in there, just grab a range.
Oh, it does show up.
Yeah, it'll show up on the top.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh, you should be able to on that map there. Go back down. You should be able to pinch and zoom on the touchpad to scroll in and out.
Ah, yes. Okay. Cool.
So
Axis look a little small.
The axis is a little wonky.
Yeah, whatever that labeling is at the bottom is pretty hard to read.
Okay.
No, yeah.
All right, so let's do some smoothing functions. Let's make some changes to the table and create some spikes, and then let's set smoothing strength to 5, and smooth that out significantly. So maybe 5 to 10 smooths.
Okay. Hover over it and set the smoothing 10. Okay. And then you've got to click smooth, I take it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's
So
nice to have the table to the side so I can see those two together.
Yep.
Would really appreciate
Excellent feedback.
Okay.
Is that does that meet your expectation of what smooth should do?
Yeah, the smoothing function. Sorry, let me just grab it and watch it per click here. There is I would like to be able to hold the maximum value and the minimum value.
So that would be your blend functions.
Okay. Blend vertical. Is this a quadratic blend or a?
No, it's not quadratic. It's just it's a standard. It's a
transient.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that'll keep your two.
Keep your high and low.
Yeah, keep your high and low.
Are they going to add a quadratic blend?
I mean, we've messed with the quadratic blend, but we didn't really see it. I mean, after experimenting, there wasn't a ton of use for it that you couldn't do with smoothing and regular.
I like
blending.
that you have the strength of the smoothing. That's a nice feature.
Okay.
I definitely keep that.
What would you do with quadratic blending? What's the reason to have that?
Still trying to get basically the smoothing, but then still being able to retain your min and max.
Okay.
But yeah, basically it's essentially smoothing min and max. That would be blend. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a 3D blend, right? It's like okay. So we're going to switch gears a little bit on the 3D table stuff. Go ahead and real quick, let's renormalize this table here. Maybe scroll up a little bit so you get the whole table. Let's renormalize that. Where might you think a renormalization function?
I'm a Control Z fan.
For undo, yeah, we'll have undo eventually. But it's not available yet. But where would you typically look for renormalization? So you're looking for
Control. I go to my compare. So Control 5 is usually the compare file that's loaded.
Okay.
In EFI Live, but if there's
for like rescaling it.
Yeah, to go back to stock. Is that what you're asking me to do?
No, to rescale your XY axis.
Oh. I'd click on XY. In OLS anyway. Or in UDC.
Click on the actual.
Or click on the. Okay. Yeah, that works.
Have it pop up or something.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I like that. I think what's getting me is there's no like
underline or
buttons around the words.
To tell you? Okay.
Yeah.
So you'd like something a little more obvious. It's not
just,
clear that
you know,
there's a
you have
renormalization.
the box around comments, put a box around air charge and WOT spark, so it looks like I can click on it.
right there when he hovers it, underlined or whatever.
Yeah, that's nice.
So a box or an indicator.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So then we're going to move on from this. I want you to create a new tuning board.
New tuning session, add tuning board. I'm not familiar with your phrasing board. What is this?
So
like,
you can see like you're on tuning board number 1 here.
Okay. Is this board specific to the WOT spark or is it specific to the tune?
It's well. So let's experiment. Let's add a tuning board and see what that means.
Add tuning board. Okay.
Like a tabbed interface for a different set of changes to the same thing.
It's just so it's like a view. It's like a set of your parameters or tables that you want to set up in a way that in this tune you want to be able to go back and edit, group together or you can dock things and move things around. What's that?
Like a favorites type?
It's kind of like that. It's kind of like it's a workspace.
Okay.
It's a customizable workspace.
I've not experienced that.
Yeah, it's well, it's kind of a new feature. Let's
Yeah.
let's take all of the scalars and put them in this tuning board, all the changed scalars.
Okay.
And then set 3 of those scalars to off or 0.
That's kind of interesting.
So there's a show all scalars button. Let's create another new tuning board.
Okay.
So we're dragging tables right now.
Yep.
Let's get just the scalars. Or maybe you want to, yeah, there you go. So that's just one group. There's also another set there at the top. If you look at the top there,
All scalars.
you should be able to drag that all over.
Okay.
So what would have made that more obvious to you that was a way to achieve that?
I would like to just click on all scalars and have this list of params open up in front of me.
Okay.
I feel like this is easily navigable. I don't need these to be separated really ever that I could think of.
I feel like it doesn't need to be on a workspace, on a board. Like you could just click on all scalars and have it come up. You shouldn't have to drag it over.
Mm-hmm. I think as a tuner, you become very intimate with these files. You know where everything is. Anyway, having a board. It's just new to me. I haven't.
Well, we also have this live function,
okay,
which is probably a lot more what you're used to in EFI Live. Where
Yeah.
it's just you click it and it opens.
it opens.
The boards are kind of nice because you can just have it where, like all your timing tables or something, or like basically all your tables for your DSP tune all open at one single table.
So let's create now. Let's create a new session from scratch.
Okay.
And I want you to add a new gauge panel to this. And then I want you to open a data log. And the data log's in the logs folder. So you just go up one folder, there you go. And then you go to the logs folder. There you go. So that just opened a log. Is this what would you expect to happen when you open a log? Does this meet what you would expect, or is there something else you'd expect to see when you open it?
No, I like that it goes right to charts. I would like to have an easy way to view which PIDs the customer logged.
Okay.
Just so I can make sure that all the information that I want to see is there, and I can populate my graphs with it.
Let's close out here.
Okay.
Because there's a bug here, so let's close that. And let's restart the software. Just double click that. And let's do that same exercise.
Sure.
We'll open up a data log. And there will be a set of pits there. It'll be on the left-hand side that you'll see.
Yeah.
That's fine. There you go. Okay.
There it is on the side. Yeah.
So let's dock that. Is it obvious? So there's those icons that show up there. What do those look like they do to you? If you grab and hold that window again.
Okay. I'm not sure exactly.
So try this. Try to move your hold while you're holding. Drag over that top one there.
Okay.
This one right here.
Okay. Like
or
that.
Grab that again and maybe drag it to that middle one, like this top one there.
Okay.
What would you expect to come up to show you that you can kind of lock those into a spot?
It'd be nice if it just came up automatically in 3/4 screen or something.
Just automatically added itself to that?
I mean, it's not often you want to make it smaller. You usually want it up and in your vision right away.
To answer your question, if it highlighted over here, if it highlighted wherever it was intending to drop it.
Okay.
If it just highlighted that window.
Highlight drop. Okay. So we've got that. Let's in this gauge panel. Let's shrink that up a little bit and then add 3 gauges. It's probably behind this.
Ah.
Yeah. Let's put that guy down at the bottom there. There you go.
Okay.
Or like put him there. So whatever. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Whatever. It doesn't.
Okay.
So you got 3 of those. There's probably one hidden behind there.
Yep.
Then change the PID on each of those.
Okay. I would like to be able to right click or click on the title.
Okay. Okay. But you just, I mean, you dragged those over, right? Did you do that or no? I thought
No,
I saw
I
you.
didn't.
Okay,
so
so
I
you,
can grab from here.
yeah, what would
Okay.
indicate to you a little better that you could drag one of those right over to the gauge?
If there was a menu that said plus or minus, I guess, would be easy.
I think the right clicking would be more intuitive than just be able to drop down and pick it rather than drag and drop them.
Yeah, I don't know. Exactly.
It's really interesting. What I've seen so far today is that everybody is a little different,
Mm-hmm.
and so many people have right clicked, many people have just dragged them right over.
Okay.
You didn't have to tell them anything.
Yeah.
So I think
if they had the box around them, that might
Okay.
be more like a. To be honest, I rarely use that style. It's a chart view is my preferred.
Okay.
Do everything in chart view.
You're a right click. Are you a right clicker or you like the toolbars or?
As far as manipulating the chart
Or anything. I mean,
right
some
click.
people.
I
You're
really
a right
like
click
right
guy.
click, yeah.
Okay. So we did that. Let's we've rearranged the screens. We've added some PIDs. So we're gonna move on. I have some follow-up questions now.
Sure.
So I'm just gonna ask you some things in general. Now, obviously, we're very early. You're seeing very early software.
Clearly,
I think
yep.
You can see that
Mhm.
now. What features do you think are critical that need to be added that we haven't done yet?
As far as our usage of the software, making it so that we can add tables to make our own definitions in an intuitive way is that's huge for us. A2L
Easy.
format, please, or CSV.
Yeah, or having like an editor pop up where like a window pops up where you can type in all the information about what you want to define, so that you don't have to sit there and like edit a CSV file item by item. If you could have it pop up and say what
Oh
you
man,
want
if there was a
define.
GUI that let us add hex addresses.
Your factoring number, your axis.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to do all that. And then have it format that definition file automatically would be huge.
Every editor that we use has its shortcoming for custom definitions. You know, and we get it. We totally get it. It's just when we have to load bins into, it's frustrating. So.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's the world we come from too. We deal with the same stuff.
Yep.
So what was your favorite thing that you demoed in this software today?
I like the histograms. I like the smoothing function. I think, I use smoothing a lot, so having a smoothing function that I can count on and easily manipulate is important.
Okay.
Is there a compare, not to stock, like compare to mod?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So in that dialog window that we saw,
okay.
It automatically picks a stock. But there's the select fix file, and that fix file is prior to or whatever. Okay. And the goal is ultimately to have multiple comparisons, so not even just one, but several.
Copy from compared, or how would the?
Well, so there's the way it works. If you go to open up one of the templates there, create a tuning board. Go home, load calibration. It won't be this long either. No, this is just, you got to remember that we're doing some things in the background to make this happen. So this is not indicative of what it's going to look like. Thinking about it.
as we look at comparison stuff, it's nice to have the other file shadowed. Like the way that you shadow that is really helpful too.
Oh yeah. So go to so let's go to the tuning board. Close this out.
Okay.
And then go to your tuning board, and just drag drag something and drag a file in there, whatever. Okay. So if you look at your stuff here, it's Control F, I believe. Toggle between fixed and tuning. So F. What do you have? Functions here. Do a table. So select over there in one of the like watt or something. Just grab Alt etc. Let's see what's in there. That's another function.
Okay. Sorry.
Spark fuel, BE. Yeah, those are all tables. Yeah, you can see from the icon that they're tables. Oh, that etc percent pedal. Okay,
there we go.
So on this one, hit, I think it's Control F. So select the table. So that's going to give you your toggle between. If it's a fixed file, it's automatic. It'll be whatever that tune file you selected was, and if it's a stock file, it'll be stock values. And we're working through how we're going to do that with multiple comparisons. But you can just copy right out of that and then paste right back into the file that you're working on to get it.
What about making a modified file compared to another one? So copy all changes or a script. Or
yeah, I'd like to do the copying from that sidebar, not having to put it into the workspace. Like copy, like have like the changes that are highlighted. Know like, oh, this is my good mod file. I can select groups of parameters like all these tables, all this, and then just transfer it over to
That's one thing Smarty does really well that EFI Live does not.
It's helpful and quick way to do it.
Yeah, we do a lot of that. You get one file and you want to carry it over to a different OS and do it quickly.
Without scripting. Yeah, talk to me about you guys planning on implementing a scripting feature or?
So that would require, that's a hard, I think the scripting feature stuff is, we've talked about this before, that's more aimed at the pass-through interface side.
Okay.
Really the user-defined stuff I think is what's critical here. Oh, so on this one, run a smooth operation. One of our engineers told me to run the smooth operation, and then hit Control D to show the color difference. So smooth that all out.
Control D, you said?
Yep.
Okay.
So that's showing you the color difference from the fixed file.
Gotcha.
Nick said earlier too, it'd be nice to have the 3D graph in the same view
next to it or in the same view.
Yeah.
That'd be killer. How do I change the precision?
The precision of which part?
So I want fewer numbers.
Oh, so like resize the table so there's less
decimal, less decimal.
Less decimal
that's so you want more control over decimal position.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, before and after.
That's something we can add. That's a formatting thing.
Yeah, helps make the table smaller, and then I can see more of the 3D.
I like the fact that logging. Oh, are you going to implement because I'm assuming logging and tuning is in the same software.
Yes.
So is there going to be, if you're doing logging, you'll be able to reference, like, let's say that table, you have the axes, you can see where the live data is.
Yeah, so that's one of the things we're planning on. So let me get to the next kind of, well, there's two more questions, and then because we'll have to roll through this in about 5 minutes. One, what does no one do right now that we should consider?
Live edit.
Okay.
Yeah, anything that you can do live or bidirectional would be big. If we can define our own comms via the scan tool, like TPMS, or if we want to add our own
PIDs or DMA PIDs
and
like that.
Yeah, we're big on like DMA PIDs recently. So if we can like read memory by address function, that'd be great. If we can track down where parameters holding that value in RAM, and then just we know this is here, and just have it display that value, that'd be great.
Okay. All right, and then so next, this is I'm going to kind of throw out some features.
Yeah.
And what I want you guys to do is kind of give me
Important
1 to 5. How
Okay.
important are they? 5 being the most important, 1 being the least important.
Okay.
In making an excellent tuning software. So 1, to your point, cell tracing. That's where the logger will point in a table to where that data point is.
I would say 2 for me.
2. Okay.
If you guys want to, chime in, if that's a deal breaker for you, Shava,
I mean, I like it.
Yeah, I would say I'm a little more than 2. I would go 3 or 4. 3
Okay.
probably.
Yeah, same stuff here.
Josh.
Probably 4.
Okay.
And we can drill down to finding something just quickly for like little small pickups.
Mm-hmm. How about data logging being inside the same app in your workspace overall?
It almost seemed cluttered to me when he was dragging and layering and toggling between everything. It seemed like you could get a lot snowballing together in one project.
Yeah.
Having them in separate entities is, I don't know if it's just what I'm used to, but it seems nicer to be able to, work into.
I mean, even if it was in the same software, but you're basically more separated.
Yeah, 2 windows or something.
Yeah, like almost like a separate instance, but I like it's the same tool. You don't have to you don't have to have a separate tool for doing the
I
log.
would say it ranks low for me. I would call it a 1.
I mean, I personally hate the fact that EFI, you have to have the tune software, and you gotta wait for the scan tool software to open up. And, it's a pain.
So how would you rate it?
I would kind of odd if it was, because a lot of us worked on multiple screens, but if you could have 2 different windows, but it'd be accessible in the same software, and it just load time is fast.
Number-wise,
have it work with dual monitors.
I would probably say, like importance of.
Yeah.
How important is it?
Typical
3.
Really good dual monitor support, so you can you could drag it and have you possibly arrange your windows and stuff so that it doesn't get cut off by.
Sure.
There's a lot of stuff that's built into Windows that can help you guys work with like dual monitors. So you can have your data logging on the right side, and then you can have all your maps on the left even, and you can do it pretty intuitively.
So numbers wise though, how important is that feature?
3.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking more in the truck or on the dyno, so I would say, 4 probably.
Okay. Bi-directional controls a la HP Tuner. Not what I know what you guys are looking for. I'm just thinking more the everyday bi-directional stuff where it's like hold gear and that kind of the stuff for on the dyno. How important is that?
I would say that's pretty important. I would say 4.
4.
Very important that it works too.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, obviously, right. I mean, this is an assumption that it all works, right?
Yeah.
Of course.
How about you?
Yeah, I'd be like 4 or 5.
5.
Virtual VE tables. I know you guys don't. You guys are primarily gas, so that probably doesn't really even rank.
Yeah.
Okay. Having a simplified list of PIDs versus an advanced list of PIDs that you can toggle between.
I would never use a simplified.
What would be the benefit? Speed or?
I think it's a lot. A lot of times people look at that big list of PIDs and they get
Overwhelmed by it.
Yeah. Especially beginners. They don't know really what to look through and what's valuable. I think the more advanced people obviously I want all of them, and I want these 5.
Yeah.
From this big giant list. But some people look at it and
as long as we can sort your list by alphabetical, by gram, by units. You know what I mean? Like I need multiples.
Being able to change the units is one thing that HP Tuner does really well. You can just click on a unit and convert from M3 to something else without having to do anything. You just click it.
Yeah.
It works.
I guess display of how many, bytes or what is the channel?
Channels. Yeah. Sorry, how it's going to affect our logging rate. Knowing that up front.
How many as we select. Do we have left available to use?
Yeah, that would be the only thing of number of PIDs that would affect if it's going
to. So really, this is more a question about basic versus advanced.
To answer your question, I would say 1.
1. And then same with the actual parameters. Like HP Tuners has an advanced and beginner mode.
Never used.
Never used it? Okay, so we'll put 1s down for all that.
EFI even has one hidden in the back end too. It's supposed to exist.
Yeah.
How important is it, and I think I already know this, but how important is it that there's, you know, starter files, value files, combo files, you know?
Not sure what exactly those are.
Well, you know, like SCT has base files for
I see what you're
injector
saying.
changes
Okay,
or
okay.
maps or, you know, stuff that kind of gets you started so you don't have to do all that work yourself.
Yeah.
And stuff that everybody
Yeah.
knows what work is there.
Yeah, maybe for beginners. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know that we'd use it.
No, probably not. Okay, so we'll just do 1s on that stuff. How important is it that there's multiple gauge types in those PIDs?
Use gauges. Use the chart.
You use charts. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know any. I mean, the only time I could see using the gauges would be if someone's got like an iPad or a tablet in their truck, and they're
Right.
just simply using it as
Logger only.
as a gauge display,
Okay.
you know. But yeah, I would. It's not a big deal for me. A chart.
How important are these configurable boards? The ability to move things around, set it up, save them, save configurations.
Like the tuning boards.
Yeah, tuning or gauge boards or any of those.
I could see the gauge board, or you get really accustomed to a gauge board. I could see that being important. Like
Okay.
I would say that's a 4.
Okay.
The tuning board, I could take it or leave it.
Yeah, again, if it's just what we're used to, but just opening one table at a time is, you can really only focus on one thing at a time either, so having them on top of each other doesn't.
What
seem
about
any-
shift tables?
So,
We've got
like he
trans.
was saying, if you get parameters to open up all at once, like if you can fit single.
Yeah, I mean, if the engineers can group when they open it, if I click on something, show me as much as I can possibly use. Like if it's shift tables, open all 6 shift tables into one window if you can.
Just
Don't make me click through 6 shift tables.
Chart.
Yeah, 'cause I was gonna say, I mean, it's kind of nice because like I know sometimes I do like that comparison between the 2-3 shift and the 3-4 shift speeds and being able to see the mile per time.
It is a nice feature.
So HP Tuners has some of that stuff where you open a trans table and there's a bunch of stuff right there that really must have.
Yeah, it's like somebody smart went through and made the tuning boards for you.
Right. Yeah. So pre-populated. tuning
Yeah,
board
pre-populated tuning boards.
Okay. Excellent. Well, guys, I really appreciate it. That's all I have for today. We got tons of
I'm
people
sure you
coming in.
got
Nick,
more.
thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks,
you
Dan.
very
Yep.
much, man. It's great meeting you guys.
Glad to
Thanks
hear
for
you guys
coming.
are on the case.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it looks really
yeah,
good.
thanks for showing. And again, you saw really early stuff. There's not even stylization.
No judgment, man.
Yeah.
Definitely looks good.
Thanks,
Good
Josh.
to see you guys.
Good to see you guys.
I want to leave you with a thought then.
Yeah.
Allison tuning support on your CTS Pro.
Okay.
Anything we can do to help, man. It's the only thing standing between us selling the CTS Pro to Duramaxes
In mass volume
versus using AutoCals.
That's the only thing?
That's the only thing. 840, 850, T87.
we need it. Don't forget about the
Okay.
old cans.
And we have, I mean, if you need stuff from us, just
Okay. That's excellent. Yeah, I'll get then.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'll bring that back to the team and we'll make sure we can work that. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.